COVID-19 PCR test result from an accredited laboratory in the country of origin. The test should have been done not more than 72 hours before the scheduled departure from the country of origin. All airlines have been instructed to ensure compliance with this directive for all passengers wishing to travel to Ghana. And those airlines who fail in this regard will be duly sanctioned. Second, disembarking passengers must do so wearing face masks. Third, upon disembarking from the aeroplane, each passenger will undergo a mandatory COVID-19 test at the airport terminal at a fee to be borne by the passenger. The test result will be available within 30 minutes. 4. Children under the ages of 5 will not be required to undergo testing at the airport. 5. Passengers who test positive for COVID-19 will be handled by the health authorities for further clinical assessment and management. And 6. Passengers who test negative can thereupon enter Ghana to go about their lawful activities and will be advised to continue to observe COVID-19 safety precautions during their stay in Ghana. The Ministries of Information, Health and Aviation and their respective agencies, the Ghana Health Service, the Ghana Airports Company Limited, and the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority, will spell out in further detail the protocols surrounding the reopening of our international airport and the procedures to be adhered to by passengers arriving in Ghana at the COVID-19 media briefing tomorrow, Monday, 31st of August. For the avoidance of doubt.
So there you have it. The president has basically broken it down for us, the most recent updates. Of course, not every restriction has been lifted, but some more restrictions have been lifted. JHS students are going to go back to school. That's the JHS 2 and then SHS 2 as well. And then, of course, the one that a lot of people were highly anticipating, that is the air borders being open now, but with some pretty strong restrictions also. So you're supposed to come in with
the test already done,
and you'll be tested again when you arrive.
At your own cost.
At your own cost, yeah. Which I think it's an important step because it just places personal responsibility, and makes that a premium.
I'm just happy this whole 14-day quarantine thing is over. I'm hoping that with this, a lot of businesses within the tourism sector will be revived. People will get their jobs back. Things will begin to go back to normal. I'm curious, though, why we are not opening our land borders. If we're allowing
because the land borders have much higher numbers
than the air.
By far.
But if we can implement it at Kotoka, I think we can implement it elsewhere as well, because there are our fellow Africans who are usually trying to get into the country.
I think I appreciate the gradual nature in which they're doing it. So once it's effectively being done at the airport, we'll see how to replicate it, at the border.
We'll see. But then another news we learned this weekend, Keyboard Idol officially went live. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think we shouldn't waste much time. Let's take a look at those that were in the competition. Let's take a look at this wrap-up.
As I was expecting, because I realized that he wasn't using a sustained pedal to effect, so there were too many gaps too many caps in your nose. Your nose were too like jumping at us instead of flowing in between. So I think you should have used the sustain pedal to effect.
You have a very nice, beautiful smile. And when you're playing, you should keep your face up and just smile. Try not to look too much at the keys, okay? I like the way your melody was clearly distinguishable. We could hear and recognize the song, and the way you built up with it with the progressions, okay? But the pedal and holding the chords, try and work on that a little bit, eh? Good work.
Wando.
Great dynamics, great everything is good. Apart from the fact that you watch your fingers a lot, you're not sight reading, so maybe you can try and interact with us next time,
Yes.
and not just over there, but more like reach out to us. There's an audience, so reach out to us, and we can feel the vibe here.
So we are your audience.
Erajua Obobia Boating.
Is there a reason why you chose that sound to play with?
Yes, please.
Tell me why.
The beat or the
No, the
tone.
sound.
I love the sound of the grand piano, so I chose that to play with the beats.
Joel Yanni Jr.
Just a few, notes here and there that got to the wrong way, but it was beautiful.
Kelvin Yabua Achampong. Amazing. Okay.
Very exciting, refreshing, captivating. And I like your selection of the piano tone, very nice EP tone. I like your balance of the melody and the harmony accompaniment. Even without the complement of a full band, you still made us enjoy and feel the music and the administration. Keep it up.
Chris Tamaklo.
say anything about it. Yeah, you did a great job.
Our advice, I will give you a word of advice. Put more into your rehearsals and training and practice, and you get better, okay?
Bess Marie Budamate.
So that's keyboard idol, and don't forget that judges get 70% of who decides to stay, and we get 30%.
Yes, it's absolutely important. You need to vote, 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 vote. So the short code to vote is *447*973#. Don't forget to vote, because your vote will make the difference.
Definitely. This is still Breakfast Daily on Citi TV. Thank you guys so much for staying with us. We have a packed show for you. My name is Jifa Ekia Amatam.
And I'm David Kwekusechi.
News reviews next. We'll be right back.
Pepsodent introduces charcoal and lemon essence. The unique combination of natural essences whitens teeth naturally for you and family, because every smile matters.
There is no promise we cannot keep. There is no commitment we cannot honor. There is no delivery we cannot guarantee. There is only one Bethel Logistics Company Limited, a licensed international freight forwarding and clearing agent, a trusted global brand with an extensive network for the movement of air freight and ocean freight worldwide. We are the trusted name for road freight into Western and Northern Africa. We are fully accredited by Ghana Customs and Excise. We cater for all your freight forwarding, customs clearing and forwarding, cross trades, inland transportation, internal cargo tracking systems, customer freight costing and consultancy, cold chain logistics management, logistics and warehousing, quality inspection, and much more. In Accra, Tema, and Takrady, we are always available to ensure easy movement of cargo countrywide. Call us on 0204-528-900 or 0244-707-859. Email info@bethellogistics.com. Locate us in Accra at North Ridge, adjacent Accra Girls High School, or in Tema at Community 4, or in Takrady on the second floor of the GCB building. Website bethellogistics.com. Bethlog, experts in shipping logistics.
Welcome back. It's time for us to do the news review. And this morning, my guests are already seated in the studio. I'm going to take you through the headlines that we have here on the dailies that we have. We'll do a few online stories. I'll come back, introduce the topics to you, and we'll have a conversation. My name is David Kwekusechi, and the show is interactive. So kindly use the hashtag Breakfast Daily if you happen to be watching on Facebook. kindly comment on the stream below. And then also, we have a WhatsApp line as well, 0550-585832. If you happen to be outside Ghana, kindly prefix that with +233. We would like to hear from you. So on the front page of the daily graphic, we have President abates COVID-19 restrictions. International flights resume tomorrow. Land, sea borders remain closed. New academic year begins in January. Government wholly owns a Japan. This is from the Finance Ministry. Clients of 22 fund managers to be paid. This is from the Securities Exchange Commission. On the front page of the Ghanaian Times, Kotoka International Airport opens tomorrow. Land and sea ports remain closed. Senior and junior high school remain to reopen August 5th as government further eases COVID-19 restrictions. Ejapa is 100% government owned. This is from the Finance Ministry. 2 shot dead at Homowaf celebration. Unfortunate story there. Unfortunate incident there. Alleged witch 60 beaten at Damongo. We need to get a grip on this situation. It should not repeat itself. On the front page of the Chronicle, we have leave out soldiers from monkey duties. Monkey duties in court. But Edrapahini calls for committee to probe disturbance. Gegzem woos Ghanaians to patronize local products. Ghana sets record straight over alleged harassment of Nigerians. Government controls all the shares of Ejapa. Court orders NDC PC to apologize to Afenyo Makin for defamatory comment. On the front page of the Finder, government owns Ejapa 100%. Finance Ministry. Nigerians in Ghana not being harassed, says Kojo Opon and Kroma. 85 million euros. 85 million euro water project to benefit 400,000 people in 3 districts in the Volta region. President has cut the sort in Keta. Court clears customers of 22 firms under SEC to receive payments. And court orders NDC candidate to apologize to Afenyo Makin and to pay 25,000 Ghana cedis over defamation. Let's do some online stories now. And on citynewsroom.com, SHS, JHS first years to resume in January 2021. Kids in KG primary to also return in the new year. Alex Mode writes, Ejapa royalties, state capture raises its ugly head again. Disregard for COVID-19 preventative protocols unacceptable, says the president. Second year SHS and JHS students resume October 5th. Air borders reopened effective September 1st. Land and sea borders remain closed. And on citybusinessnews.com, customers of fund management companies skeptical about SEC's plans to pay locked up cash. Kotoka International Airport to reopen from September 1st, and land and sea borders remain closed. Ghana Export-Import Bank launches Made in Ghana 4P campaign. Receiver struggles to retrieve records of 35 defunct financial institutions to validate 252 million Ghana's Citi claims. In La Paz, second-hand clothes sellers decry low sales amidst COVID-19. And on BBC.com, Africa Live, we have South Africa leader to face probe over campaign funds. All right, so for more news, kindly visit citinewsroom.com. And for more business news, kindly visit citibusinessnews.com. All right, so my guests are seated in the studio. I have with me Elvis Darko, who's the editor of the Finder newspaper. Elvis, good morning.
Morning.
How are you?
By grace, I'm fine.
Okay, how was your weekend?
Not bad. Usual.
By usual, you're just working. You never take a break. And my other guest is also here, Kwame Jantwa, the lawyer and the former vice chair of PIAC. Good morning, Kwame.
David.
How are you doing?
By His grace, I'm fine.
Well, now it looks like we're going into a new phase of the easing of restrictions. What's the general feeling that you have before we delve into the meat of the matter?
Well, this weekend I was in Kumasi. I attended my aunt's funeral. And one thing I heard Kumasi people saying was that COVID no ko. So hardly wearing masks. Hardly. Somebody sent me a video of their father's 1 week funeral observation.
Yeah.
And no social distancing. Nobody was wearing masks.
Yeah.
And that worried me. I don't know how we're going to be able to enforce the president's directive of wearing masks around the country. Because I heard on CNN yesterday that somebody who had contracted COVID in March, he was healed, and in September he's contracted COVID again.
Yep.
So it goes to show.
In September?
Yes. Is it August, September, just recently?
So this
August, August is the first.
Yes.
August. Going to September.
Yes. So it goes to show that, COVID is the kind of virus that, irrespective of whether you've had it before or not, you can
get it
infect.
again.
So we need to find a better strategy of educating people wearing masks and social distancing. With regards to, the president's speech yesterday.
I'll get into that. I want to read the story first to get into that. Elvis, I have in my neighborhood, there's some spots. Okay, and they are lined up, about 5 or 6 of them together. And this is in mile 7. And
sorry, you mean drinking spots?
Drinking spots. Yeah. And yesterday, for example, and it's not only yesterday, but I've noticed that they're just right now. It's almost like free for all. There's no social distancing. They are literally spending maybe, I don't know, it must be like 6-7 hours. Just partying non-stop. I don't know where we're going to go with all of this. But anyway, I'm sure you weigh into it when we talk about the restrictions that have been lifted further. We're going to be discussing the easing of COVID-19 restrictions in the first conversation. Let me read to you a couple of stories. Air borders reopened effective September 1. Land and sea borders remain closed. Excuse me. The president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has announced the reopening of Ghana's air borders. According to him, the reopening will take effect on Tuesday, September 1, 2020. He made this known during his 16th national address on the measures taken by the government to curb the spread of the COVID-19 outbreak in the country. I am glad, and I quote, to announce that the Kotoka International Airport will resume operations on Tuesday, September 1, 2020. This has been communicated to all international airlines, he said. President Kufuor disclosed that every passenger who arrives in the country must possess proof of a negative PCR COVID-19 test. The president said while the government is aware that the country's first cases of the disease were imported, it is optimistic that the reopening of the airport will not lead to new infections. He said the government has therefore put in place a number of guidelines to ensure that no case is imported into the country. The guidelines include any passenger arriving in Ghana must be in possession of a negative COVID-19 PCR test result from an accredited laboratory in the country of origin. Okay. Disembarking passengers must also be wearing face masks. Number 3, upon disembarking from the airplane, each passenger will undergo a mandatory COVID-19 test at the airport terminal, and a fee will be borne by the passenger, the result of which will be available in 30 minutes. Number 4, children under age 5 will not be required to undergo testing at the airport. Number 5, passengers who test positive for COVID-19 will be handled by the health authorities for further clinical assessment and management. And number 6, the passengers who test negative can thereupon enter Ghana to go about their lawful activities and will be advised to continue to observe the COVID-19 safety precautions during their stay in Ghana. Let me just quickly add the bit about the SHS so that we can tackle them all together. Second year SHS and JHS students resume October 5. Okay. Second year junior high school and senior high school students will be returning to school on October 5, 2020. This follows relevant consultations by the Ghana Health Education Service, according to the President, Nana Akufo-Addo, with junior high schools, and I quote, operating with class sizes of 30 and senior high school with class sizes of 25. SHS2 and JHS2 students will be in school for 10 weeks to study and write their examinations, end of term examinations. The president said in an address to the nation on Sunday evening. Then he also mentions that the JHS students will be given one hot meal a day. All right. Elvis, let me start with you on this one. So your general impressions of where we are in this COVID-19 fight?
Oh, I think with the onset of the podcast season, it's obvious that when you look around and see what is happening, the behavior of Ghanaians is like the COVID is gone. People are really not paying attention. You see mass gatherings at political rallies to meet candidates, and people are not wearing masks or anything. And it appears people don't really think that the disease is still with us. And I think it's dangerous because, as I said earlier, last week, if you monitor the globe, the countries that have been hailed as having successfully dealt with the disease are back to square one. And New Zealand, for instance, is now battling new spread of COVID, and they had to postpone their elections by 1 month. If you look at South Korea, South Korea is where the person who has tested again for COVID, it was recorded in South Korea. And if you look at Germany, France, Spain, Italy, last 2 weeks to now, they have been recording about 1,000 cases, new cases a day, fresh cases of COVID. So the wave of the disease is something that we shouldn't joke with. Yeah. New Zealand, for instance, eliminated COVID for 100 days. There were no new cases. Yeah. But then they are back to school. So for me, this attitude that I see people showing is quite dangerous. But I'm happy that the government is not behaving like the citizens in this case, especially when you look at what has been done at the airport. I think it's another first for Ghana. I've not heard of this being done in any country yet. I've yet to read about if there is any. That we establish a lab at the airport and make sure that passengers coming in, first of all, you must be tested from in the country where you are coming from.
Yeah.
And when you get here, you are still tested for us to be sure that you don't have it, because you could contract it on the flight.
Yeah.
So we still test you here, and after 30 minutes you are negative, you go. I think this is a testament that the people who are managing our health sector in this particular pandemic have shown that we may be a third world country, but when it comes to knowledge and innovation, we have the men and women who are capable. And I believe many countries will learn from us. I have always said that, yes, we had scary moments in the management of COVID, but if you look at the steps we are taking, we have done things, and 3-4 weeks later, the likes of UK and America and the bigger countries will now be copying and implementing. And that should give us some confidence that as a country, all is not lost.
Yeah.
If we give the people the room and the resources to work, it's obvious that we have a lot of Ghanaians who are capable of doing great things for this country. And the management of COVID is a testament to the fact that these things, if we remove the unnecessary partisan politics from many of the things we do and work together as a people, we can achieve a lot. So for me, I think that all those who worked hard to bring this into being needs to be commended, and I commend them a lot. And I'm happy that the land borders have not been opened, because
why though?
Yeah, because we need to manage the air borders first. First of all, the test, you are going to pay for it, and those who are coming from air, once they can pay for their airfare, they should be able to pay for it.
Yeah.
The land borders, people who cross the land borders, many of them, I'm very sure that the cost of the test, they can't pay for it. And these are people who cross on daily basis.
And of course, the ticket to cross the land border is much cheaper than even the test itself. Yeah.
And these are people who cross the borders on daily basis. So for them to afford a test every day in and out, I think that is going to be difficult for them. And you see, the airport is international, but it's only one. But we are having 42 approved borders and several unapproved borders in Ghana. So if you say the 42 borders should be open, when the facility will even installed at the airport to do the test have not been installed in some in these borders, then you are calling for something that could cause us a spike in COVID. So it's difficult. And as I've said, I've always said that the government should do something for the people in border communities, because their livelihood depends largely on crossing the borders to go and do business and come back. And we have locked these borders all this while. We have been sending COVID-related incentives to various groups, but I've not heard anything being done for border communities. And I think that the president needs to say something. Need to give something to the assemblies that are located on border lines to do something for the citizens there. I sympathize with them. I think that they are suffering a lot, because this is all that they rely on all their lives. Many of these communities, if they don't cross the border in a day, even livelihoods is difficult. Having the daily bread is difficult for them. So I will still continue to appeal to the government, the president, that there needs to be something that has to be done for the people in border communities.
Yeah.
And that's why I said that closing the border still till now is good.
Okay.
In terms of the schools, I think the Minister of Education needs to come and give us further and better particulars on that, because I'm a little bit confused. Because if you say the SHS2 and GSS2 should go to complete their terms, and you're asking that from GSS1 to kindergarten, they should not go, they should go 2021. In 2021 that are they going to forego the remaining term, and that they are going and they'll be promoted to the next level in 2021?
No.
Because if we are allowing these people to do their completion so that they can be promoted to the next level, that means that at each level, in fact, at each class, this is your semester, that will lead to your promotion to the next level.
Yeah, but Elvis, the president did say that what they will do is that they will do an adjustment of the curriculum in such a way that they don't lose anything, they don't lose any time.
No, but when I say they don't lose anything, that's what I'm saying, that are they, when they come to the term, are they going to complete the term, uncompleted term, before they move to the next level? Or the next level, which where they are going to, but then the syllabus will be adjusted in such a way that the teachers will have more time to be able to teach.
That's what he said.
So then if we are doing that, why then are we doing it for GSS2 and SS2
and not for everybody?
For not everybody. Because even the latest study in terms of COVID in children, it turns out that it's not having much impact on children. Children hardly die from COVID. The latest study that has come out showed that there's not much danger to the life of children when it comes to COVID. So I don't see the fear in not making this student and evidence of the SS students going back and writing their exams and GSS students getting ready to write exams shows that, for me, I think that schools could have reopened and things would have gone with the evidence from other countries around. And even Cote d'Ivoire here, they reopened school for all stages before we reopened. And there's no call for closure because of COVID. And they are in school, everything is working for them. So I'm a little bit confused about the decision to postpone this academic year to 2020. That aspect, because I don't see the evidence from anywhere in the world which shows that students or children of that level are getting it. And as he said, the WHO has said that 12 years and below should not even be made to wear masks. So it's obvious if you're looking at GSS 1, GSS 2, these are people beyond those age groups. It's because they're not that much vulnerable. That's what the WHO is saying, that they shouldn't even be made to wear masks. So I was thinking that would have opened all schools fully. That is my only disappointment in the address.
Okay. Lawyer, your take on
David
on the new restrictions that have been eased.
First of all, I watched the president's address with my baba.
Okay.
And after the president had given his address, he wasn't too sure about why the 70 ticket.
Yeah.
To show that you had
a test done.
You
have a negative test.
Negative test done, and after that, you also have to be tested mandatory here.
But I understand it. I know why it makes sense.
So maybe then you can explain to him why.
Well,
because
if your Baba is watching,
I couldn't. He says he's watching.
Yeah.
I couldn't really understand why they should come in, do a test 72 hours and then be tested here. I mean,
okay.
What's the difference?
So basically, the evidence that we have so far shows that somebody can be negative in terms of testing negative and still have actually been infected by the virus, but the viral load is so small at the time of the test that it won't show positive, right? But if the viral load is small but it's there, it's present, it will start to increase, okay? So within 3, 4, 5 days, whatever, it could increase to the point where within 3 days of the first test being done, they could actually turn out positive. So for us to also do due diligence on our side, everybody that's arriving, even as you have a negative test, we still have to test you because you could actually turn out to be positive. Okay.
And so contract on the flight.
And of course, there's the issue of contracting on the flight as well.
So then, in as much as it's a good thing to open the airports, I also had expected some explanation with regards to social distancing on the aircrafts.
Okay.
Because COVID was brought in through that.
Yeah, that's how we got it.
Yes, that's how we got it. So they are opening the airports. How have the government discussed with the airlines with regards to social distancing on the aircrafts? Because when you look at even our local airlines, Accra to Kumasi, there's no social distancing, unfortunately. And COVID can spread that way. So maybe Civil Aviation or Ghana Airport Authority can tell Ghanaians how that is going to be done. Because when you get 737 to 737,
737, yeah.
The big ones,
737-300.
Yes, when you look at those aircrafts, it takes nearly 300 to 400 passengers.
Yeah.
And economy is where the bulk of the passengers are. And so, how is that going to be done?
I assume that they're all going to be wearing masks anyway.
Are you telling me, David, that the fact that you wear masks, you cannot contract COVID?
Well, I mean,
is that what you're saying?
I mean, I'm not saying that in total that's the truth, but it's a very massive mitigation factor.
So,
if everybody's wearing you're wearing, I'm wearing,
fair
the likelihood that will cross between the two of us is almost,
fair
negligent.
Enough. Fair enough. Do we know how long someone has used a mask for at any given time?
No.
We don't. So, would it be a good idea, as expensive as it could be, but could we mandate the airlines to hand masks to passengers when they get into the plane, to make sure that the masks that they're having are brand new masks. Because we got COVID through the airlines.
Well,
and the possibility of that also happening again is high. And so for me, that bit should be looked at and looked at well. I think it's because of the restrictions that have come in with regards to coming by through the airports.
Yeah.
I don't think too many people will travel for now. In as much as it's a good thing, and in as much as it would fuel business, I believe not a lot of people will travel for now till such time that they know the numbers have come down, very, very well. The president gave us figures which indicated that it looks as if our active cases was coming down, which is a good thing. Now, they also showed a visit of the president to the airport. I was very impressed with what I saw on TV. I think, and equally what my brother Elvis alluded to. I think a lot of things we've done where COVID are concerned is being copied by other countries. But this is the challenge I also have. Other countries, European countries especially, keep informing us of how COVID is, infecting their people, the numbers and all that. But on the African continent, we don't seem to hear a lot about it. Does it mean COVID is not ravaging us? Does it mean we haven't been able to do the kinds of testing and data collection? Because how many countries in Africa do you hear information like you hear from America, Britain, New Zealand, and those places? And for me, that is a worrying factor, because we might not be telling the people on the continent the true impact of COVID
on the continent.
And I think if we knew that, it would give us a better indication of how, COVID should be handled. But all in all, I think it's a good thing. And with regards to the
SHS?
The SHS.
Okay, I want you to hold on with that one. We'll take a short break. We'll come back and then we'll have you finish your submission on that. Please don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Close-up deep action with antibacterial mouthwash formula and deep cleaning gel. Close-up deep action. Enjoy long-lasting fresh breath.
Election 2020, Ghana makes a choice. Tracking and bringing reports of the presidential and parliamentary campaigns across the length and breadth of this nation.
Analyzing campaign activities and election data with our panelists on the Voters Diary.
The Voters Diary is the most factual, instructive, and balanced election 2020 analysis program on television.
The Voters Diary every weekday on Citi TV from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m.
Stay informed on all the relevant issues on election 2020.
Tune into the Voters Diary. It's Ghana's choice.
All welcome back. The show is interactive. We are doing the news review on Breakfast Daily. My name is David Kwekusechi. My guests are in studio, Elvis Darko, editor of Final Newspaper, and also lawyer Kwame Jantua. Now, he was making a submission. Before he continues with that, let me just quickly read a couple of messages from you, viewers. One message is coming from Ablade in Efiakuma Zongo, Takrade. Good morning to you over there in Efiakuma Zongo, and all those people from Tadi. Nursery, kindergarten, primary, JHS, and SHS academic, SHS 1 academic calendar postponed to 2021. Question: if I may ask, will they be promoted to their next class? That's a question that Elvis was also asking here. Also, private school teachers are my worry now. How are they going to survive this? I think Mr. President doesn't have private schools at heart. It's clear here that he wishes to shut them down. Abladi, I don't think that's a fair comment to make. It's a complex situation we find ourselves in. All right, this one is coming from Amaji in Kaswa. Now that KIA will be open tomorrow, our safety is in our own hands. Taking precautions seriously will ease the conditions of COVID-19 from our shoulders. This too shall soon pass. Enjoying electricity and water and free water is good. And okay, all right, okay. Thank you, Mama G. All right, lawyer.
Enjoying electricity and free water.
Free water is good. Yeah, there's other things that you said there. I'm trying to make sense of it, but we need to continue. So let's go.
Maybe we'll discuss that in another show.
Why you don't want to enjoy free water?
Really, David, I don't understand this free thing. I really don't understand it, because we'll pay for it anyway down the road. And Ghanaians should be made aware that we would pay for it down the road. And how are we going to pay for it? As I keep saying, I'll be very happy when the president says free this, he tells us how we're going to pay for it. Definitely. No, don't let me bring my political side in here, because I'm not here as a politician. And with regards to the students, they gave reasons why, the president gave reasons why SHS2, JHS2, why they're going back. Why didn't they give us reasons for not allowing nursery to JS1 go back to school? Don't you think we deserve to know? I think we do. I think we do deserve to know.
We do.
So if the president didn't say anything, the Minister of Education should come and tell us why. Because you see, that is going to impact on parents.
Sure.
It's going to impact on parents a lot, especially in the junior sides, in terms of nursery, kindergarten, and that type of classes. Parents would probably have to find people who would take care of their wards whilst they go out to work.
Yeah.
And so a good reason should have been given to us why that is so. And I hope the Minister of Education would come and tell us something, so that parents can also get a better feeling of why that is so. Is it that children of that age get infected? And we know that although in some countries it's happened, in Ghana it's not really something that we have experienced.
In this same address, he mentioned for the airport reopening that the children under 5 will not be tested. So clearly there's a basis for for making that decision. So I don't think it's because children at that age will not.
So then we need a reason.
We're contracting,
We need a reason why that is not so. Then probably if the reason sits well with Ghanaians, fair enough.
Okay, all right. Let's move on. The next conversation we want to have is about this thing that has sort of reared its ugly head again. Some other women in the Savannah region have been attacked, being accused of being witches. we need to really stem this thing and get rid of it. Assault of alleged witches. Let's take a look at that story there. Let me read that quickly for you. Savannah region, the 3 women attacked. This is on citynewsroom.com. 3 women attacked after witchcraft accusation. The Savannah Regional Command of the Ghana Police Service is investigating an attack on 3 women on Saturday night by some unknown persons who accused them of being witches. The attack occurred at Lantekura in the West Gonja district of the Savannah region. The incident, according to the police, happened about 11 p.m. during the celebration of the annual Fire Festival. At least 14 persons are currently standing trial over a similar offense in the same region after lynching 90-year-old Equia Dente at Kafaba. The incident generated public uproar, resulting in massive calls for such acts to be stopped, and also the closure of so-called witch camps. The acting Savannah Regional Police Public Relations Officer, Sergeant Ejekum Owusu, commenting on the recent incident, said the command will do all it can to arrest the perpetrators of the act, while the victims are currently receiving treatment at the West Gonja District Hospital. Yesterday, and I quote, around 11 p.m., I had a call from Tamale Communication that some 3 women were being attacked by a group that they are witches. So we quickly dispatched policemen there, and one of the women was rescued by the team. So it was this morning that I also have other information that a certain village, 2 women were also attacked, making 3. The attack was in the night, and when they saw the police coming, they ran away. So we couldn't make an arrest in the night. But the victims have been sent to West Gonja Municipal Hospital for treatment, which the police are preparing to get the culprits arrested. Okay, so let me start with you, lawyer. This thing happened to Equia Dente, unfortunately, and she passed away. These ones have been badly wounded. They are receiving treatment. The people seem to have gotten away under the cover of darkness. How are we going to stem this thing finally?
David, there is, as we say in law, there is an actus rea and a mens rea to this particular issue.
What's the actus rea and mens rea mean?
Actus rea is the act, the mens rea is the intention.
Okay.
There is an intention to it, and the question you would ask, what processes started before it got to this point? You just don't get up and go somewhere and say, oh, that person's a witch, and you go and kill them.
Okay.
You don't do that.
Okay.
There must be certain events must have happened which pinpointed those women as witches. And the people who took it upon themselves to go and kill them had the intent to kill them.
Yeah.
That intent was there based on the fact that they felt they were witches. Now, it's now up to the police to make sure they can do the arrest. The story also says one woman was, anything happens, people can tease, people can say all sorts of things, Mami no, or before, Mami no, or you say this one, she's this. So the people who say those types of things should be known in the community.
Yeah.
They should be known in the community. And the community, if the community don't side with those who did the act, they should be able to give
Expose
those people
them.
who killed these women. Witches camps is what they call them?
Yeah, witches camps, yeah.
They're all over the country, are they?
Yes, well, not all over the country, but mainly in the north.
In particular areas.
Yeah.
There was some in the Volta region, yes?
I don't know. Is there
I
some in
don't
the
know.
Volta region, Elvis? Witches camps?
No, they're all in the north.
Is it north?
They're all
I think
in,
it's
they are,
really in the
okay,
north.
they're all in the north. We have a Minister of Gender, haven't we?
Yes, we do.
And they are responsible for these particular areas in terms of witches camps and all that?
I mean, it will come under their purview, at least for the fact that it's women, it's gender, children, and social protection. It's a social protection issue.
Is there no law against it? There's a law against it.
I'm sure there is.
Why aren't we enforcing the law? Why do we still have witches camps in the 21st century? And why can't we do anything about it? It is a social disgrace to all of us, especially to politicians, because you won't get this in somebody's manifesto.
True.
And even if it's in the manifesto,
that they will ban witches camps.
They'll ban witches camps and they'll do all these types of things. Does it have prominence? You know, some of these things that happen in our society should be given prominence with regards to the manifestos we bring out. We're going into elections today. Such a thing has happened. We should put it in our manifesto. If I'm part of the CPP's manifesto committee, I would make sure that such a thing is in there. And then we need to market it well for people to understand. What does it mean? What does a witch camp, what do they do there? Do people understand what it means?
The most famous, or should I say the most notorious one I know of, is the Gambaga witch camp.
Yes.
You know, and that has reportedly in the past had over 100 women there. And typically what happens is that you find that, you know, as people age, issues of dementia, issues of senility, all those things start to happen. And typically you find that there are elderly women who have been outcast from the society and camped over in the witches camp. And I guess it's a social, cultural, historical something that has gone on for many years, but we really need to stamp it out. I mean,
are there no wizards in this country?
Good question. Where are the men?
There are wizards in this country. There are. There are wizards in this country, but you dare not go and, you know, confront them. All these, some of these, what do you call them? If they, I'm right to call them that way. They call them witch doctors and all these types of people. Are they not wizards? Can we class them as wizards?
Well,
and if we can class them as wizards, what are we doing about it? But we rather go for the weaker,
vulnerable women.
Women. And it should stop. Government should do something about it. Yes, it is disgraceful.
Elvis.
It doesn't sell the country well at all.
3 more women.
No, okay. But before that, let me say something to the lawyers about Africa and COVID. The truth of the matter is that you are hearing about the rest because you're watching CNN, BBC, and Al Jazeera, who are the global media giants. In Africa, we don't have any media giants. But the truth is the African CDC on daily basis publishes what is happening in the whole of Africa, country by country. The West African Health Organization publishes what has happened in the ECOWAS region. But because we don't have a coordinated media institutions in Africa to tell our stories, we are always being told the stories by the Western media, and that is what is happening in this COVID. Because for Africa, a lot of work has also been done. But how to get it to the public is not there. So at the end of the day, we are still not telling our stories, but we are telling the stories of the Western and other countries because they have the media that we watch, and they are the ones who are telling us the stories from their perspective. So they don't have time
shouldn't we fight for something like that?
Of course.
This is a typical example of why we need something like that.
I have always said that Africa cannot make any meaningful progress without powerful continental media giants that will actually tell the African story. We now appreciate the Middle East issues better because Al Jazeera now broadcasts in English. Al Jazeera used to have Al Jazeera Arabic for many, many years. But then, because of the language barrier, they chose to go into English. And once we had Al Jazeera English, we now appreciate a lot of things in the Middle East better because it's a media giant that is telling the story from the perspective from the people of the Middle East.
Let's move on.
So for me, it's an issue. As for this, you have said, look, this is a barbaric act. Okay, there was some time ago when chiefs died, we kill people that they are servants. They are supposed to go and serve the chiefs. True. It's public knowledge. We all know about it. But when murder was criminalized, if people could not do it openly anymore, So this thing, it's a simple thing to criminalize anybody that will declare somebody a witch. Whether you're a pastor, a malam, once you declare somebody a witch, you yourself must go to jail. At least for 5 years in jail for declaring somebody a witch. That is the only way we can stop this. Because apart from people being beaten, a lot of families have been destroyed because one malam, one juju man, one pastor or somebody has told somebody that somebody in your family is a witch, is responsible for your predicament, and have divided and destroyed families. So apart from the physical attack and killing people, they have brought emotional pain to many families in this country. That is why I believe that we need a law that will say that nobody has the right to declare anybody a witch. The very moment you refer to somebody as a witch, you go to jail for 5 years.
But we have laws, don't we?
I have the right to declare myself.
The laws are comprehensive enough. Because if you call somebody a witch, right? Which law will catch you? Which law is going to...
But I should have the right to declare myself a witch or a wizard for people to come and consult me. If I decide to declare myself a witch or a wizard and practice, it's like somebody declaring himself a pastor or a malam. It is somebody who says I'm a pastor, it's somebody who says I'm a malam. And people consult them. So if I want to be a witch or a wizard, I should have the right to declare myself. But nobody should have the right to declare me a wizard or declare somebody a witch. Once you do that, you go to jail for 5 years. That's the only way we can stop this barbaric act. If we don't use stringent laws to address this, it will continue to happen. Please, this issue of its culture, its tradition and all that, please, if the thing is inhuman, it is inhuman. And if we want to fight it, we need very, very punitive laws that will make sure that people will understand that any attempt to declare somebody a witch will land you in jail for 5 years. I think that we can stop this. But until we do that, it will happen, we will discuss and then hide under culture and tradition, and it will just be left there, and the next time it will happen again. So it's about time. These are the kind of laws I say Parliament to pass under certificate of urgency, not the laws that have chop-chop. These are the kind of laws that we need to run, not contracts that somebody is going to make millions and the one that we should be running to pass under certificates of urgency. This is the time that people who will send to Parliament on our behalf will say, no, this thing must stop. So we are drafting this law within a month. We are passing under certificate of urgency to ban this inhuman act. But they are sitting there waiting for the executive to be the one to go and draft it and bring it, and then they will be going up and down about it. And poor people are losing their lives. So for me, it is only a stringent law that makes sure that people go to jail by the mere calling of somebody as a witch or a wizard. You go to jail. I think that's the only solution we can approach here.
All right. Let's do the final story. Small-scale mining. The president of concerned miners has been arrested and granted bail. The story is on citynewsroom.com. Let me just quickly read that. NDC members storm Nima police station to demand release of concerned small-scale miners president. Okay. Some members of the National Democratic Congress have thronged the Nima police station in Accra to demand the release of the president of the concerned Small-Scale Miners Association, Michael Kojo-Prepra. Michael Kojo-Prepra is said to have been picked up on Saturday, 29th of August 2020 by the cybercrime unit of the Central Police in Kumasi for allegedly causing fear and panic in a Facebook post. He was subsequently transported to Accra. There are claims that Mr. Prepra was arrested on the orders of the Minister of Environment